Yin, that's the reason why I'm here. A lot of people, students, are you coming to the Yin class? What is Yin? And I'm here to get the students educated because it's an opposite of any other Yang class. Let's talk about why Yin versus Yang. There's universal language out there. It talks about a complete opposite, right, left, up, down, hot, cold. But in the Yin world, in the yoga world, we just choose Yin and Yang. Yang, let's start with the Yang. Yang is any other exercise that you're going to do, and it's got movement to it, and it's got rhythm. A Yin, on the opposite side, has no rhythm at all and no movement. In a Yang class, what happens is we're in the process of stretching muscle, and muscle is pliable and it's like a rubber band. Any exercise you do, it's 30 seconds, compress, release, and you're done. Very important to stretch our muscle. But now the opposite, complete opposite, we're going to go through layers of muscle, fascia, cartilage, meridians. This is where the chi gets redistributed, the life of our body, and we're going to get to the tendon of the bone. So it's very important to stretch muscle, but it's equally important to start stretching the joints. And because what happens is years of sitting and standing, joints get compressed, and we've got to separate them so the blood could flow through, so the fluid could go through, and the synovial fluid can go through. And what are we preventing? We're preventing arthritis, degenerative diseases of the spine, the hip, and by doing this, it completes the circle of wellness. And why is it important? Because years of sitting and standing, as I said. And the Yin class will go into all the joints. It will start diffusing the joints, but the emphasis will be into the spine and into the hips, the vertebrae and the spine. An example, okay, let's say what's happening there. Your fingers, they're called phalanges, lots and lots of bones in there. And in order for it to be, to get release into the joints, it has to be loose. But what happens over your bones, you have a tendon, which is a muscle. So if you squeeze it, it's going to make everything tight. And we're not able to move the joint around. So in a Yin class, two things have to happen. The muscle has to be relaxed, and it also has to be held for a long period of time, as opposed to a Yang. Yang, quick movements, stretch the muscle like a rubber band. Now going deeper, it's going to be the tendon of the bone is like cookie dough, so it takes a longer time for it to melt into so we could start separating the joints. 3 to 5 minutes, depending on what posture you're going into, and that's why it has to be soft and gentle. And this is where I think is confusing for a lot of the students. They think, oh, I've got to do this in my class. No, medically it's have to be soft and gentle in order to go through all the layers to get to the joint. And you cannot do a Yang into a Yin. You cannot combine the two. So let's give an example. If you're going to do, if you've got teeth and you're going to move them vigorously, which was a Yang movement, you'd probably destroy your teeth. But if you're doing a Yin posture, if you do a Yin movement to it, this is where the braces come in. I always talk about to the students that it's like if you wore braces, because it's got to be slow, long, and constant. It's the same principle. Now, moving teeth is a much harder experience. It takes longer for that to happen as opposed to getting entire cartilage. But it's the basic principle, so it's important to stretch our muscle, but equally important to make sure we start stretching our joints. Degenerative diseases, the spine, the hip. What else? Fixation, what happens is it's like if you had a suction cup and you're pressing it down, and this is what happens to the muscle. It doesn't release, and that's another reason you're going to go through layers and layers to release everything. Another reason why to do the Yin. Come and try it. You're going to love it.